K-Cheese Studio has had little positive news this year. That mozzarella cheese switch took a long time to adjust and still couldn't get it done. This time, the V2 version of this blue cheese is being launched first. Contrast. For V1, the changes are significant. Let's take a look in this video. The exterior color scheme remains unchanged, still giving a low satisfying box feel. Her looks are undeniable. The only change is the color character on top cover 1 in the VR version. The V1 version does not have this. Some basic parameters of the switch: modified L4 POM shaft, modified nylon PA66. The PA66 bottom cover with enhanced modified nylon is 2.0 actuation and 3.7 bottoming out. The measure travel is also around 3.7 liters. This year, Jikes switches aren't exaggerated. There are 3 types of pressure in total. The customer chose a 23mm single spring, corresponding to 27 triggers and 35 springs. A 22mm single-stage spring corresponds to a starting point of 30 G. Take 40 G from the bottom. A 20mm single-stage spring corresponds to a 40 G starting point. The 52 G outlet also takes into account the difference in pressure spring and the handling of the spring. Bruce's VR first excels in noise control, and only the friction sound from the axis. There may be a slight greasy sound when in a lump state. No issues after getting on the machine. Inheriting the muffled tone of the V1, after adjusting the mold shaft column, the overall tone is a few degrees lower than the V1 version, with a bit of looseness at the bottom. It tends to sound a bit muffled and the volume is lower. The top cover also uses the latest mesh design. The sound of the upper Ghost Altar was similar to the earlier likes. It is also slightly flat and weak. The entire sound comparison segment is a single version. First, listen to the typing sound comparison between the full and boundless modes. Whether it's body contact or rebound, the overall temperature drops by several degrees. Then listen to 2 consecutive loud typing sounds to get a sense of it. In terms of feel, there's no sticky texture inside. It's a bit looser than the micro mirror version with almost no tightness. Smooth and still thirsty. Out of 10 points you get 6 points. Quick. When installed over the tray, there is a slight color tone. The amount on the quart was decent with a high level of slipperiness. Out of 10 I give it 8 out of 10. The pressing experience is between slippery and dry, leaning towards dryness. This is the second model I've touched to use this switch. This is the Jianjing switch for the type of processing plan. Compared to the former, the Y2 Axis blue filament material is harder overall. Although it's all mesh processing, then the blue silk processing feedback will be more noticeable than on the Y2. Unlike the V1's spherical treatment, the handling is relatively gentle and doesn't feel shaky in the hand. But how should he respond? The feedback from this approach is weaker than that of flat bottom or bottom-seeking solutions. Those who buy need to pay attention to those who need strong feedback. This needs to be considered. The V2 and V1 versions can be considered 2 different axles. Although both have the same orientation for door noise, there are still differences in loudness. The difference in tactile feel and user experience is very significant. The V1 version can be summarized as a micro-sticky startup, forming a dry and decisive attack. The feedback is also very noticeable. The spiral or quantity is between moderate and tight. The V2 version boots smoothly, forms a slippery, rather dry and refreshing. Response when going out is somewhat weak. The spiral or yield is close to a moderate state. In a comprehensive state, the difference in sound between the two doesn't mean the difference is worlds apart from me. For those who want to experience a unique feel, buy the V2. Version V2 uses Denjike's latest springs. 5. Issue submission solved. The old version couldn't enable low latency mode and was prone to double-clicking. The enhanced cheese has also been replaced with blue, which matches it better. That's it for this video. See you next time. Bye bye.